What do you see as the significance of awards such as these from the perspective of the bank and for corporates?
Okay, thanks for asking this question. I think it's very significant for us as an industry to receive those awards because it clearly shows us where do we stand, how we are seen from the market, from the competitor, and gives us a good assessment of our services we are providing to the industry.
We've been seeing a slowdown in some of the emerging markets' growth. What does this mean for global and regional trade?
That's a good question. We see the slowdown, really a slowdown from an economy perspective. Having said that, given the banking crisis, as the overall pie is getting smaller, however, also the numbers of banks competing about this pie, the slice for single and specific banks delivering outstanding services and be able to deliver products in certain markets, there is still a growth opportunity, also by having innovation, new products ready for the client base there.
And from a broader perspective, looking at the global economy, the emerging markets were quite an engine of growth during the crisis a few years ago. What does this signify for going forward?
I think going forward, and also if you see the slowdown in emerging markets, there's still considerable growth compared to what we see in Western Europe and some more developed markets. And one should not forget that we're also seeing growth picking up from a complete region like Africa. So there's still good business to do, and from an overall trade perspective, those who have a global setup will still benefit from the global economy.
What does it signify for global trade finance and supply chain finance? How is it changing these industries?
That's an interesting question. I think one of the themes here at Cybos was BPO, so where we see a more and more demand for working capital solutions, being it accounts payables and receivables. There I expect also going forward, given the economic environment we are in, further innovation, and in particularly due to the demand we are seeing from the corporate side, in particularly from the mid-cap and SME segment.
Are there any key talking points you're taking away from the Cybos conference?
Put it that way, I think one of the themes, as I said, is BPO, so the working capital theme. Next one, that's more from a Deutsche Bank perspective, clearly is SEPA, so everything around Europe. By having said that, a key talking point was we have an honest discussion comparing models, themes, and how we address the challenges going forward. And the last point here is the regulatory changes, and more from a trade finance perspective, that is clearly Basel III and the CRD4 regime we are facing.